Hey, what's good, everybody? I am Popo, and I'm going to show a little bit about the MPC X and the Akai Force. Now, I have both of these devices. I've learned to love them both, but my MPC X, I seem to be a little bit more comfortable doing certain things on than I am on the Force, but then my audio tracks section I like to do on the Force rather than on the MPC. So they're both two very different boxes. I can mute out my audio clips instantly after I record them onto the Akai Force. In the MPC, I have to go and bounce it to a sample and set it to a clip and then be able to mute out the clip that way. It's just a little faster of a workflow for me. I really kind of dig that. Now, how I utilize both of them, like I might play drums on my MPC and some synth parts, this way I can mute them out. But as far as like vocals or any of my external synthesizers, I'm going to go ahead and put those into my Akai Force. This way I can manipulate them in real time. And the way I have it set up is everything's going into my MPC, out of my MPC, into my Force. So if I want to lay down chops, I can do that on my MPC and sample it into my Force. Now, one thing that I do like about this is that hype engine, which we're going to get the hype engine anyway. And I say we because I'm still an MPC X lover, man. I'll never, ever try to take any credit away from this box. First off, it's got a 10.5-inch screen, and this one's got a 7. So it just makes it a little bit nicer. The X has a retractable screen, so it goes up and down. You know, you get 8 Q links on the Force, but you get 16 on the MPC X. Yeah, you get 64 pads for your clips or your drums or whatever like that. You get the same thing in the MPC X. You just have to cycle through bank A through H. So it's really your preference. And what I've learned so far is whenever you're making a song on the MPC X, right? This is probably the wrong terminology, but I see it more linear. All right? I can see sequence 1, sequence 2, sequence 3, sequence 4, and so on. Now, on the Akai Force, this would be sequence 1. This would be my track 1, track 2, track 3, track 4, through 8 or whatever, 16. And then I could just simply copy the tracks the same way I do on the MPC X. After I convert sequence 1 to sequence 2, convert sequence 2 to sequence 3, and so on. And then I go into track mute on the MPC X, and I go through every sequence and I mute out different parts. This way, when I go back into song mode, I have all my sequences and they're all laid out. On the Force, you can actually see the sequences. So for one scene, there's a sequence. And if it's the same one, which is most of the time what I do, I lay down all of my stuff on one sequence, break it out into 8, and then mute out different parts. Well, in this, I can copy them all down, or just copy a pad and that work. So it's more working up and down. I like the MPC X because whenever you want to get into tedious tasks, those extra Q links, you can, it's tough. It's a different workflow, okay? Like to say, the only thing this thing has on that right now is the hype engine, which we're gonna get in a few, like maybe a couple of months or something like that. But we've gone over how to send projects from the MPC over to the Force, and they do populate. Now, they won't send the MIDI data. So to send the MIDI data, you have to export each track as a pattern, okay? And then you bring it in, and then it'll play your stuff, okay? Hopefully in an update that'll come up real soon. But we've gone over that. We've gone over. I didn't go over chopping up any samples or anything like that, but it's just like the MPC X, except for the pad tap. Now, or lazy chop or whatever, you can only sample by region, and I'm not going to show you here because you ain't going to be able to see, but you can only chop by region, threshold, beat per minute, or manual. And manual doesn't mean that you can hit the pad while the sample's playing. They don't have that. The MPC does. I have a lot of people say, yeah, the MPC X or the MPC Live even compared to this is different. It's a different beast altogether. Only reason I like this is because if I didn't have the preamps and all that, don't listen to that, because I had an MPC Live and I took this thing out to Ocean City, Maryland real quick, and there was a thunderstorm. I took my microphone out the window or out the house, and I never heard anything like that before, so I recorded it. And whenever I went to the playback on my sample, it was like a dead line. It looked like someone died, right? It was just like flat line. I hit normalize on that. Man, you could hear every single crispy little thing. So don't act like the preamps is going to do you any more justice than not having one, because the battery power makes up for it. Now, I love Akai stuff, man, and I love how they're trying to incorporate all their gear together with the Ableton Link. This is going to be able to link with the computer and basically drag your projects right onto it. Right now you put it in controller mode and just shows the drive, which is cool because on the MPC, if you go to bounce this project and you're going to computer mode in here on your Force, then it'll pick up the drive. You can just drag your patterns right onto the drive. You don't have to take the SD card out and put it back in, but still it should be easier. I do know that they're going to be doing something with Splice, and you're going to be able to use the sounds that are on that website, so get hip to the Splice. I'm not sure when that's coming out, but it's going to be huge because this thing is going to be able to host third-party plugins. Because Splice, you can buy third-party plugins, and mark my words, man, that's what's going on. As far as the MPC, like this thing, they both come with the mother ducker, which this is a little easier to use. The mother ducker, you just hit it and then go like that. But the MPC, for me, is more for making the song, okay, period. You can make a song on here, and I'm going to get a lot of hate for that, but if you're used to Ableton or Push or anything like that, you're going to want to go over here. You understand the workflow. You can hit pads and do all kinds of cool stuff. I made a real crap video a minute ago with a standalone 10-minute song, but I just wanted to show how you copy the tracks and all that. And I think that's dope. And you can do that with your audio tracks. They give you 8 audio tracks, but you can record a separate clip. This is track 1, audio 1. You can record a separate audio clip on each one of these. This is track audio 2. So you can have 64 audio clips that you can just call whenever you want. And it is a little bit of a learning curve. And if I had to get rid of one of these, I would definitely get rid of my Force. I would keep my X for sure, like no questions asked, just because it's my workflow. I'm not saying one's better than the other, but the different workflows is what I'm getting at. It's the same screen. This one has like 3 brains in it. It's insane, okay? But I like my MPC. I've learned it inside and out. I know how to bounce my samples to clips. I know how to do clip perform just like this thing can. But I do like the fact that it's got more CVs, it's got more inputs, it's got a lot of stuff for the money. the hype engine alone, it ain't worth $1,200 or $1,300, and that's the only difference with these little keys that you're getting. You could get for $100, but all the extra hardware, the quality of the box and everything overall, yeah. And I would buy another one. And if Akai came out with one of these the size of the MPC X, yeah, I would totally get it too. Anything to make the controls. This reminds me of the MPC Live when before the X came out, where you had to do just a little bit of menu diving to get to where you wanted. Now this thing comes in a bigger form. It's going to have 2 screens. That's all I can say. There's no way you're going to have 2 screens. But each one of these plugins has their own effects, and then you can add your own other effects into it. I think that's really, really dope. I got another video where I went through a bunch of sounds and everything on the hype. I do like the fact that the pads look overwhelming, but yet you can play anything on them. When you hit a key on different note modes, it'll tell you where the next note, like this one here, this guitar mode. I like it a lot. You can kind of, the more you play with it, I'm not used to this, so when I see these lines here, those are just the different markers of different octaves. So it's really, really straightforward, and to copy your scenes and everything. Like I said, the main reason why I got the MPC X in the beginning, a little over a year ago, was so that I could put all my guitars and some of my synths that I've had. I've bought a few since then, but I wanted to be able to record them into my MPC X, and yes, I have been able to do that and stretch out the sequence. And instead of being able to mute out the parts, you have to go into each sequence and clear that part that you don't want. Which, so what? You're going to make money off the song. You might as well put in the work. But for a faster workflow, man, just to be able to do what you want, both of them. And that's why I got them both. Is so that I had unlimited options. We live in a pretty good time era now where technology isn't holding us back. Okay, we got stuff here that you can do a lot of stuff with. I've run 80 tracks on my MPC at full level, like 16 note repeats, triplet repeats, all that kind of stuff, and it only uses like 20%. These boxes are insanely strong. They're a whole lot better than this camera that I got. I'm balancing this up on like a keyboard stand right now. You see that? It's ridiculous. But anyway, guys, again, I'm Popo. My friends call me Poli. Any questions? Anything. If you want me to push a button on here, I will get up and record and push a button on here for you, just to show you what it does. Something about quantization that I had somebody ask earlier. You want to hold down knobs and hit track, and then on your track that you have, it'll give you your options. I have nothing on this track, but once you put something on the track, it'll give you your options to quantize in whatever time you want, or turn it off. I don't want to eat any more of your time. The video is a little longer than I planned on it being, but I just wanted to do like a week later kind of overview on both of these boxes and why I got them both. And yeah, I'm not going to knock either one of them, but like I said, if somebody came up to me and said I had to get rid of one of them, it would be hard to say, a tough decision, but I would throw my Akai Force out the window and keep my X. That's just me. But I'm not in that situation, so I'm going to keep them both. Right on, guys. I'm going to quit jabbering. I'll holler at you guys later. Thank you.